Good evening and welcome to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence, home of the Providence College Friars, as they get set to take on the NJIT Highlanders in the first round of the men's soccer NCAA tournament. I'm Mike Mancuso, joined tonight by Adam Giardino. And Adam, for the Friars, they return to the tournament for the 10th time, the first time since 2016. For NJIT, their first ever trip to the big dance in men's soccer at the D1 level.
And for both of these teams, the goal is to win here tonight, and we'll take a look at the bracket and what lies ahead for both of these teams. The winner will go on to take on the number 15 team in the country, and then the goal beyond that, you knock off Penn State, you could perhaps have a matchup down the line at number 2 Clemson.
Absolutely. And now when we take a look at this NJIT team, the one guy that clearly jumps off the page has to be Rennie White.
He is tied for the nation's lead with those 17 goals this season. He's dynamic. NJIT is 6th in the country at almost 2.5 goals per game. He's the reason why for that, and Providence College knows that. They're going to be keyed in on Rennie White all night long.
And, of course, on the other side of the pitch, the main man in the middle for the Friars, Thiago Mendonça.
It's been such a redemption for him after missing the entire 2016 season with an injury. Last year he was Big East first team. Second straight year that he is first team all Big East. He's that cog in the middle that really makes this Friars engine go.
So it should be a good one from here in Providence. When we return, we'll have the starting lineup and the opening kick. That's next, right here on the Big East Digital Network. And we welcome you back to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence. The anthem has been sung. Lineups have been announced. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino. And Adam, it's time to take a look at the coach of the Highlanders, Fernando Barboto, the ASUN Coach of the Year, now in his 4th season at the helm of the Highlanders.
And how could he not be the Coach of the Year? Last year's last place team in the conference. Preseason, they were picked last, and then you have to play the games, and NJIT, unbelievable effort this year, 10-4-4 overall. They're 5-1-0 in conference play, made that run through the conference tournament, and no doubt that he should have been Conference Coach of the Year.
Yeah, going worst to first, always such a special accomplishment for a team, and of course his counterpart on the other side of the field, Craig Stewart for the Friars, now in his 8th season at the helm.
And, you know, when Providence College went on this run to end the season, it makes the coach's job a little bit easier, but you have to know that he's got a hand in all of that. And so for the Friars, sometimes the best coaching is staying out of a team's way when they're rolling as well as they have. And so you've got an opportunity here if you're Providence College to keep that going tonight.
Yeah, of course, Craig Stewart spent a good chunk of his career over at Franklin Pierce, took them to a couple of NCAA championship games at the D2 level. Take a look now at the starting lineups. First, we'll start with the Highlanders out of the Atlantic 10 Conference.
We highlighted Rennie White, the redshirt junior from Bloomfield, New Jersey, who is tops in the country. No one's scored more goals than him this season, but it's an effort top to bottom for this Highlanders team, and it's going to be tough for Providence College to match that.
Yeah, on the other side, for the Friars, the starting 11 for Craig Stewart. In between the pipes, Austin Avisa, 3rd team All Big East this season, and
kind of the one big surprise tonight, no Paulo Lima in the starting lineup for Providence. And we are underway from Chappie Field. Friars in the home whites with the gray striping and the black numerals. We'll be moving the ball from right to left across your screen. The Highlanders in the road reds with white numerals will be advancing from left to right. Here's Kevin Vang with some acceleration towards the 18, trying to split a couple of Highlanders, but it's turned away to the side by Diogo Ferreira. As the Highlanders will work it out of the back, working in some tight space there. Nice job maneuvering through about 5 Providence defenders. Now with some pace, here's Andrew Nino, first team All-ASUN this year. Again, this is a very dangerous team in the attacking third. As Nino went down, here's Mendonça now is going to get called for a little bit of a grab.
And it was the play on for a little bit, it seemed like, but there was a ton of contact from behind as Nino continued to carry and possess that ball down pitch. And this is already a minute in, a great opportunity for a set piece for the Highlanders.
Yeah, these are always quite dangerous. Kicks from about 30 yards out or so. And, one thing that Coach Barbato talked to me about yesterday was just being dangerous, making Providence defend them, and especially when they're in the final third. They've already done that now in the first minute of play. It's on the free kick. It'll be Andrew Nino, a senior from Union City, New Jersey. A goal and 8 assists. Those 8 helpers do lead the Highlanders in that category. 2-man wall here for the Friars, Mendonça and Danny Griffin, 2 of the 3 tri-captains. Ball in towards the area, and Avisa has to come out and punch it away. It's a little bit of traffic in front of him. Griffin tried to get there, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds that time by Juan Zapata, one of the captains for NJIT.
Ario Rusnak, freshman 6-footer from Maui. Probably not his favorite time of year to be playing soccer, but he had a great opportunity before Avisa punched it away.
Yeah, game time temps in the 40s here tonight. And, of course, the other day. Oh, and there's an opportunity for the Friars, and that one's just going to go wide after a miscommunication in the back. And then Trevor DeVoe taken down in the box. Play on, says the official. Some nervy moments in the back line of the Highlanders there. The Friars, though, unable to capitalize. Here's Kevin Vang leaving it for Espen Wolf. Wolf now will hold. As the Highlanders able to work it out of the back with Nino. Quickly up ahead. Roman will get there first for the Friars. He'll utilize Duncan, and now back centrally for Mendonça. He'll leave it wide for Roman. Friars love to work it through the back line and build up through their backs. And there is a rare miss-hit. Their captain, Joao Serrano, able to track it down. That's a rare miss-hit indeed. You don't see the Friars play that kind of ball out wide behind a player like that. But here's Malcolm Duncan now. Sends the long ball up the right side, looking for Davis Smith. The transfer from Amherst. And knocked out of play. It'll be a throw-in here for the Highlanders.
For NJIT, they've got to get something positive going downfield. Obviously, they had that great free kick set up early, but the last memory for all of them defensively is that near fatal blow between the goalie and the back line. But NJIT avoided disaster in that moment and now looks to push downfield.
Gerald Cubero there with a nice little bid down that far side. Took a sliding tackle from Kawasmi to break up the charge. So go back to that opportunity for the Friars. Just a little header here. It was played back by Rusnak.
And once that pressure was being applied from behind, that's when Rusnak realized, okay, maybe we don't have enough time here for Rigas to get there, and so I just got to play this out of harm's way. He very nearly put it between the pipes, though.
Yeah, Samuel Rigas, the goalie of the year in the Atlantic Sun Conference, just a freshman out of Germany. But certainly a very talented keeper. Had to come in a couple games into the season, replacing Victor Pujadas, who was going to be the starting goalie, but then suffered an injury, and that put Rigas right into the spotlight. And boy, has he delivered this season for the Highlanders.
And Pujadas' career, when he was a sophomore, he played every minute of every game. So when you have that 2 years ago, you're not just penciling him in, you're penning him in as your senior goalie. So that's a huge adjustment and obstacle for NJIT to have overcome this year.
And Rigas sitting on a 1.28 goals against average and a .772 save percentage as Duncan has to work out of the back end there as he takes a little bit of a tumble. And it did rain a lot yesterday, but the field does drain pretty well. We were down there earlier. Didn't seem to be any kind of left over from the rain yesterday, but you never know once you get out there in some of these spots. As again, NJIT trying to work through the attacking third, utilizing Diogo Ferreira. And now back near side it comes, Radon. Back the other way, Danny Griffin with some pace, has DeVoke to his right. And that one's going to be knocked aside by Joao Costa. Settled by Mendonça in the middle. He'll play it out wide.
It was a perfectly timed step up by Costa in the midfield. If he doesn't, if he plays that a little more passively, PC still has a chance to build.
DeVoke, who does have great speed, able to find himself in dangerous areas. Now it gets it to Espen Wolf. Wolf has to cut it back towards the end line again, and a nice defensive play, robbing him there right on the end line. Diogo Ferreira, but getting it right back for the Friars was Roman, who finds himself up there. Into the middle it comes, where it's knocked aside by Rebel, the rookie of the year in the Atlantic Sun. Friars, though, gain it back. Roman now works towards the flank. Wolf across. Nobody home for the Friars. Second ball is going to come to the foot of Danny Griffin. Griffin now will leave it back for Serrano. Serrano and Griffin will lay it back for Kawasmi. Plenty of space. It's very light pressure from Rennie White. Mendonça now will use Duncan wide. Duncan surveys the scene, pops it up ahead, looking for Smith. Gets into the box, Smith the opportunity, and that one's going to sail over the crossbar. And sticking with him was Ario Rusnik.
Boy, what a great opportunity that was for Davis Smith to try to beat Samuel Rigas. Here's another look. He got the great touch, kept it nearby, but an even better closeout by Rusnik just to keep that angle as difficult as possible. Samuel Rigas, great numbers for him this season, and you know, he's a guy that's been pivotal for NJIT, coming off the bench, so to speak, early in the year, and he's been a key starter.
And we have an NJIT player down on the field. I believe it's Ario Rusnik, who just made that defensive play. Training staff is going to have to come out, take a look at him. But he was able to stay step for step with the big man. Davis Smith stands in at 6'7". Gets off on his own power, but they will make a change. They're going to bring in Jose Adames, the freshman from Spain, and he'll head over to that left back position.
And that is a change of pace for NJIT. Rusnik has played every minute in 15 of the 18 games this year for NJIT, and when he comes off in this first half, that's 38 minutes. They're going to be without him on the back line. Even if he comes back healthy and ready to go for the second half, still a little bit of a different look along a back line that's allowed some opportunities out of the gate for the Friars.
Well, you know, this back line was brand new coming into this season. You know, Coach Barboda wasn't quite sure what he was going to have, but they have come through time and time again so far. But you never like to make that substitution this early in a game unless you absolutely have to, especially with a player of Rusnik's caliber.
And it's interesting that they immediately went to the substitution. If they thought it was just a clipped heel and that give him 30 seconds, he'll be back out there, they wouldn't have sent that substitution out.
Yeah, he was kind of messing with his foot there, kind of pulling it back and forth, so perhaps he caught the bottom of Smith's cleat there when he made that play. But either way, we'll keep an eye on if Rusnik's able to return later on. Here's Kawasmi now from the back using Kevin Vang. And wide it goes for Duncan. Pressure this time from Rebel. Vang able to take some space. And now has to use Kawasmi all the way on the back line. Ramsey Kawasmi, the sophomore from Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Again, the Friars very content and confident working it through their backs. And now we'll have to play it all the way back for Avisa, as the Highlanders not giving any ground in the middle third right now. Friars with the more dangerous chances in this early part of the game. And Danny Griffin getting the headlock there, and I don't know what that was about from Joao Costa. And we've certainly seen a lot less than that get carded.
Yeah.
Costa basically had Griffin in a headlock. They got the foul, but Friar faithful and the Friar coaching staff looking for the booking. Appears they're not going to get it. The Friars go with the quick restart.
Yeah, quick restart, but here's what we're looking at. It's the extended.
Yeah, I mean, he's got him in a headlock.
Yeah, that was the curious part.
Friars now back to their possession-based game. Mendonça. Again, a little bit different look tonight without Paulo Lima out there as a defensive central mid. And that is a big loss if he is unable to go at all. He leads the team in goals, and he's had some huge ones over the course of this season. Smith leaving it back for DeVoe. DeVoe will leave it wide. Challenges it through Griffin. Now Roman pops it up. The shot, DeVoe can score! Trevor DeVoe on the side volley rips it home, and the Friars lead this one with a 10th minute goal from Trevor DeVoe, the redshirt senior out of Medway, Massachusetts.
You know, when it's all said and done, maybe Providence's offense looks all right without their leading goal scorer in Lima. That was a spectacular finish by DeVoe.
DeVoe, who spent most of his career at Boston College. Take a look at this little feed. A brilliant chip from Christopher Roman and the perfect side volley. No chance for Samuel Rigas. He'll be hard-pressed to find a keeper to make a save on that play, but DeVoe too much space there. The defender a little bit late closing on him in Ferreira. And DeVoe has the Friars up 1-0 in the 10th minute.
For DeVoe, this just continues a hot stretch for him now over his last 4+ games. It's 2 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. So they do have options. The Friars do have options to pick up some of the offense, even with Paulo Lima on the bench.
He has a couple of game winners on the season as well against Albany and UConn. So Trevor DeVoe gets the Friars on top early. We'll see how the Highlanders respond. Of course, Highlanders not afraid to play from behind. They were behind against FGCU in the title game for the A-Sun over the weekend, but were able to battle back and come through with a 2-1 victory in that one. Again, for the Friars, so tough to beat, especially when they score first. They are 11-3 this season, knocking home the first goal of the game. And they do have 10 shutouts as a team. Aviza has been back there as they look for DeVoe once again. And taking a tough angle on it that time was Joao Costa. And Rigas able to bail him out. Now Serrano will set up on the near flank, leaves it off for Espen Wolf. Part of the Friars' bread and butter. That Serrano-Wolf combination down the left side has been devastating this season. Vang takes a shot in the back of the neck that time. Again, another rough play by Thomas Radon. And on the far side, the Friars will settle again. Duncan and now Kawasmi.
Yeah, there's no doubt that NJIT, part of that mentality coming on the road as a team from a perceived lesser conference from the Atlantic Sun versus the Big East and the RPI, that if you look at it on paper, it's not as up to the caliber as the Big East. And physically, they are showing that they are not afraid of Providence College early on. And I'm sure that's part of the game plan, just to mentally get themselves in this road game to begin their first ever NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and, you know, they've had to battle through some tough competition on the way here. They did have one game against a Big East opponent earlier this year. They took on Seton Hall. That was back on September 24th, in which they wound up losing that game 4-1. But that was a long time ago, and they've only lost once since then on the road at Loyola on October 15th. Now with some pace through the middle, here come the Highlanders. Radon is going to hold up. Leaves it wide now. It's charging up the field. Was Ferreira. Back across it comes. Malink has it knocked away by Griffin all the way back to Zapata. Zapata was able to get it back to Costa. Now they'll leave it wide for Adames, who had checked in for the injured Rusnik. Highlanders content to knock it around, build some possession for themselves. Nino plays it to the corner, has a man charging down the far side. Cubero is picked up by Duncan. Cubero looking to put it into the mixer. Promptly headed away by Kawasmi. And the Highlanders will reset. From the far side, it comes into the 18. Serrano there, calmly plays it for DeVoe. And now Duncan will send it up ahead, looking for Davis Smith. Smith winning the first ball. Second one comes to DeVoe. And now the Friars build through Roman. Smith and Roman combine once again. As Roman bounces off a couple of players, Friars looking to switch it for Wolf. Serrano now joins the fun in the middle of the field. Ahead it comes for Espen Wolf, a talented freshman from Copenhagen. And all the way back again, the patient Friars will work through Kawasmi. And that was something that Coach Stewart talked about earlier this week. Nothing, specific to take down NJIT, but just playing their game, imposing Providence College soccer on the Highlanders. Don't let the Highlanders get into what they like to do. Friars figured if they can do that, they can get a positive outcome here tonight. Here's Mendonça looking to the near side. Wolf on the run, has a little bit of space, but a last second touch there by Diogo Ferreira will set up a goal kick for the Highlanders.
Yeah, Wolf just had a slight missed touch at the end of that where he had the angle, and then Ferreira did really well to recover, cut off what little daylight that Wolf thought he had. Instead, yeah, that goal kick coming up. And for NJIT, just in terms of when we're thinking about Providence College and, you know, having Providence College establish their game, I think the fact that we haven't yet heard from Rennie White is a good sign for Providence, but it just takes a moment for him to break free, and all of a sudden all that hard work you put in shutting down one of the best scorers in the country is for naught.
Absolutely. As Serrano now plays it up ahead, DeVoke leaving it back for Kevin Vang. Back into the box, DeVoke with some space. Has one more man to beat. Oh, what a save by Rigas with the left hand. Just able to pop it up and out on a tricky little bid there from DeVoke, looking for a second goal of the match.
Yeah, that really materialized out of just about nowhere. There didn't seem to be much daylight, and all of a sudden a little flick of the ball to the right, and that was DeVoke with ball and a pretty clean look in on goal.
Yeah, mark that one down. Watch this save from Rigas. Phenomenal job, the reflex save with the left hand.
The last little flick to clear himself, and boy, that was on frame. If that one gets past Rigas, it's not missing the net. That's going to be buried for a 2-0 PC lead.
Highlanders looking for the counter now. They'll work it to the near flank. Charging up the wing is Ferreira. He'll be met by Espen Wolf. And now they have to play it back for Zapata. He'll use Adames in that left back spot. So they try to connect a couple of passes here in the middle third of the field. 15 minutes in. First half action here in Providence. The Friars with a 10th minute goal from Trevor DeVoke. The difference so far. There's good pressure here out of the Friars. Mendonça able to steal it away. Nice touch from Vang. Mendonça now with some pace through the middle. Has Davis Smith up ahead. Danny Griffin out to his right. Ahead for Smith and cleared away there on a nice play by Adames. Roman now able to get it back for the Friars. Serrano. So comfortable with that ball at his foot. We'll leave it back now for Kawasmi. Up ahead it comes for Griffin. Those tri-captains for the Friars. Now Serrano into the box. DeVoke, who's been a dangerous man for the Friars so far tonight. As Griffin couldn't unload the shot. Serrano making his way up, plays it across, but it's going to be knocked down that time by Ferreira. And Rennie White plays it up ahead on the run now. Rebel with some space was able to get behind Kawasmi. Looks across, has a man. Holding up there was Cubero. Couldn't pull the trigger. But now joining the party, Ferreira has Rebel, and that shot blocked by Serrano as the Friars finally able to get numbers back. And it was one of the more dangerous opportunities for NJIT, and that ball into the box secured by Austin Aviza.
Really nice bit of possession there for NJIT where they had a couple of opportunities. They ultimately did send one in on Aviza, who's had such a strong season in net for Providence College.
Yeah, third team All Big East. Of course, started his career at Syracuse, spent some time at UConn, but finishing things out here as a redshirt senior at Providence College. Now the Friars will work it through Vang, and now once again Serrano. Up ahead, on a line, right for DeVoke. DeVoke with plenty of space, he'll take it. Now leaving it through, behind the defense for Wolf. Looking to cut in on the defender. Gets into the box. DeVoke with the let, has Griffin. Griffin the shot, off the post. Had Rigas beat. The Friars nearly strike for glory again. Griffin trying to settle. It comes almost to DeVoke, couldn't unleash the shot. He's knocked down, ball still on the foot for a moment on Griffin, and it finally squirts out to Cubero.
What an opportunity, a flurry of opportunities for Providence College. So Rigas comes up with a spectacular save a few minutes ago, and then the post, his best friend in that moment. This could be a multi-goal lead for Providence College, and instead NJIT still a one-goal game despite this blast.
Yeah, an absolute rip that time from Danny Griffin.
That even bounces out and hits the back of Rigas.
Well, it almost bounced right to Davis Smith as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Friars threatening again. As Serrano plays it forward for Wolf, and Wolf this time offsides on the play as the flag on the far side came up from the assistant referee. No doubt about that one. Seemed like he had a step or two behind the defender, Diogo Ferreira, that time. And there's a look again at Rigas, who has come up with a fantastic save early on to keep it at just a 1-0 margin. And that's something his coach talked about as well, that he's capable of making at least 2 or 3 of those kind of saves per game, and he's done it all season long, especially when they've needed him the most. Again, not much he could have done on the first goal, but that save was phenomenal, as we're going to have a foul here on the Highlanders, much to the chagrin of Rennie White and company.
Right, when we're saying it could be 2-0 or 3-0 Providence College at this juncture, I mean, that's if Rigas is an average goalie. I mean, that's if he's not out there doing some spectacular things, this would be a very comfortable early cushion for the Friars.
Absolutely. Now if they can just get the offense on pace with what the goalkeepers do it out there, could be in business here tonight. Here's Danny Griffin again working with Roman, but a nice step up by Adames. And the Highlanders looking to counter. Up ahead, targeting White. They're able to get a chest to it, but they're going to say he used his arm. So it'll be another restart upcoming for the Friars. Again, a lot of praise for Rennie White from his coach. Part of his first recruiting class, a true number 9 out there, just a pure finisher, left or right-footed. Just a prolific scorer that he's so hard to defend in training. He watches his own defenders try to go against him in practice, and he just says White just tears them apart.
And he's only a redshirt junior.
Exactly.
Not a bad guy that has 1 year of eligibility left.
Friars again out wide for Wolf. Across looking for Smith, but cleared away by Costa. And now the counter building up through the middle. Rebel looking for White. That's a cut back towards his own end. Leave it for Zapata. Zapata tried to spin out of trouble. Smith plays it ahead. DeVoke on the run. The shot right into the gut of Rigas. And DeVoke a little bit slow in getting up as well at the tail end of that. Keep an eye on that as he is still down at the top of the 18 of the Highlanders. Mendonça, tough challenge in the middle with Malink. NJIT able to hold on. Played up into the box. Kawasmi able to head it down. Mendonça dribbles out of trouble for the moment. And now Vang with Mendonça. Kawasmi. And out wide for Serrano. Serrano on a line again perfectly for Danny Griffin. Griffin, though, running out of room here. Serrano in tight quarters gets it back to Griffin through the legs. And now Griffin's going to send it wide, but maybe a little too central that time. Had Roman out there. But an easy pickup that time for Rigas.
Yeah, there was a ball to be had down that far sideline, and it was not anywhere near where that ball ended up.
Yeah, just curled it a little bit too much in the middle of the field. Great crowd on hand here at Chappie Field and Anderson Stadium. A lot of Friar faithful and waiting some time for this game. Actually the first NCAA tournament game since 2016 for Providence, in which they reached the quarterfinals. Prior to that, the 2014 run, the magical one that took them all the way to the College Cup, where they lost to UCLA in the national semifinals. Here come the Highlanders. Spinning out of trouble was Malink. And now they use Adames. Quick passes in succession as they maintain possession on that far flank. And it's going to be Mendonça that comes away with it for Providence. Back it comes now Kawasmi. Dipped one way and got White to go the other. Now he'll use Duncan. Up ahead, targeting the big man, Davis Smith. Another dangerous ball. Smith trying to get there. He's taken down in the box. And again, NJIT playing with fire. If this isn't the NCAA tournament, that might be called.
Yeah, you're thinking if this is a midweek regular season game in September, we might be seeing a penalty kick.
Joel Costa.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
He grabbed him down by his arm and took him down in the box. Here's Espen Wolf. Wolf, who's been tormenting the Highlanders, leaves it off for Griffin. Squares it off now, Vang. Inside it comes to the 18. Wolf once again. Fires it on net off the crossbar. Rigas might have got a piece of that, as it's become a shooting gallery on one end of the field. NJIT trying to weather the storm here early on, but it has been all Providence so far.
I mean, remember, this match started 45 seconds in with a free kick for NJIT. It's been all Friars since. I'm going to have to say he got a little bit of that.
It looked like he maybe got a fingertip on it, but Wolf nearly picked up the Friars' second goal. It would have been Wolf's fourth goal. Wolf was outstanding in the Big East tournament, wound up being a member of the Big East all-tournament team. Is some more nervy moments back there. The back line, I think, losing Ario Rusnik has really kind of handicapped the NJIT early on. You could see how much he means to that back line. And they've been a little bit disorganized since.
Right. I mean, whether we think they should have gone that quickly to a sub, Rusnik obviously was not ready to go right back out onto the pitch. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made the substitution. But in the NCAA tournament, can you really afford, say, 5 minutes of working 10 on 11? And you can't.
And he went out for injury, so he could come back in the first half as well if he's okay. So you got to figure someone of his caliber, if he's okay to come out, he'd come back. But that's a tough blow for the Highlanders to lose their starting left back. So Mendonça now will settle things in the middle of the field. Looks up ahead for Smith. Instead, it finds its way on the foot of Wolf. Wolf, the opportunity across. Smith couldn't quite get it on frame. And knocking it out of bounds eventually is Ryan Malink. He'll stay with the Friars. Of course, with Trevor DeVoke out there, has the long throw. Here's another look at the last play. Again, Espen Wolf, an absolute terror. Played it across, but a little bit behind Smith. Adamas was right with him. And now we get the long throw from Trevor DeVoke. This time he's going to go short for Roman. Roman now. Vang inside the box for Griffin. Back out wide. Chipped across and promptly headed away, and then further headed out by Zapata. Rennie White has it taken away by Mendonça and Duncan. Duncan again loses his footing. We saw that happen to him on the other end of the field. Duncan eventually knocked off the ball, couldn't keep possession. Now the Friars got to be wary of this counterattack. Wide open on the near side is Nino. Espen Wolf hustling back to catch up with him as the Friars look to get numbers back. Heel pass is going to be taken away by Duncan. And now Danny Griffin looks at his options, goes for Smith. Vang in the middle of the field, gets away from one Highlander. Now once again, the Friars will slow things down for a moment and build up.
They haven't done this a whole lot. It's been go, go, go for Providence College.
Mendonça swings it out wide, just over the head of Roman, but works out in the Friars' favor as it went off the head of Malink. Quickly tossed in for Duncan once again. And Kawasmi will square it on off for Serrano. Friars will move centrally with Mendonça now back out wide. Espen Wolf. Griffin now. Trying to target Wolf again, but beating him to it was Ferreira. And it's going to be knocked out by Wolf for a Highlander throw. And the temperatures will be dipping down into the 30s by the end of this one if they're not there already. But NJIT just played a chilly one in their championship game, which they hosted against Florida Gulf Coast. That one not below freezing right from the get-go this past weekend. Now Duncan will leave it off wide for Roman. Yeah, Roman's going to be picked up by Cubero.
November 21st in Providence, Rhode Island. The temperature to start this one, you'll take that every time.
DeVoke now looked into the box that time as he had Griffin making the run. White's got some space on the outside. Serrano tracked back, and then Mendonça able to steal it away as Rebel lost the handle. Espen Wolf again is going to be met by Radon. Serrano will switch the point of attack to the far side again for Duncan. He's got about a 25-yard cushion to work with. He'll take his space. Duncan lifts it up ahead, has Roman trying to work into that far corner and get the cross off. Tracked by Cubero. And Duncan now puts it up across into the box. Wolf tried to get the header, and I think it's going to be a dangerous challenge on Wolf as he went basically head-to-head with Ferreira right near the top of the 6. No malintent, 50-50 ball that time for both players. But a little shaken up was Ferreira.
Yeah, he's rubbing the back of his head. Let's see if maybe a forearm or something like that got up a little. Yeah, maybe. Maybe just a flying elbow there at the tail end from Wolf.
They're kind of shaking it off there. Seems to be all right. Always a good sign. As we get the restart now from Samuel Rigas, ASUN goaltender of the year. Up ahead it comes near midfield. Mendonça has a glance off the side of his head. Vang tracking back for Serrano. And no advantage there as Vang was taken down by Radon. Radon not happy about it, but the official just giving him the mild talking to. Not yet stern. We haven't reached that point in the game, but maybe if Radon keeps talking to him, he'll get a little bit more of a stern warning next time.
Yeah, in such a non-dangerous part of the field, it's not as if you're giving up a free kick from 30 yards out. That seems a pretty easy call to make, especially when there is no advantage as you outlined.
So Serrano now. Use Malcolm Duncan wide, and again, he's had plenty of space to roam on that far side as the Friars will probe the NJIT defense one more time. Field basically slanted in this direction for most of this first half. Vang switches it back now, and Serrano for Wolf. Up ahead, DeVoke tried to get a little too cute with it that time, and Costa, too good, not fooled on the play. Costa trying to chip it up ahead, but the only one there is Kawasmi. Avisa already calling for it. And Kawasmi will go D to D across for Duncan. Duncan now will put on the brakes for the moment and use Kawasmi. Vang. And Duncan will work that far side. Now chipped up ahead looking for Davis Smith. Comes down to DeVoke. Off of Roman. Smith now a touch out wide. Danny Griffin works towards the end line and earns a corner kick for the Friars. And kind of surprising, Adam. We've already played over 30 minutes, and this will just be the Friars' first corner kick of the game. They're one of the national leaders in terms of corners per game at almost 7 per contest as they make their first change of the night, bringing in Gil Santos to replace the goal scorer Trevor DeVoke, as he was able to find the back of the net back in the 10th minute of play on a brilliant side volley. Now the Friars, Adam, so dangerous on corners this year. 8 goals have come off of corner kicks, and one of the main reasons is João Serrano, who's put one in from just this spot earlier this year. It's going to be played out by the Highlanders. Rennie White will blast it up towards the middle of the field, but didn't quite get enough on it. And Danny Griffin hacked from behind, and we're going to get another foul. You can just feel a little bit of the frustration, I think, here for the Highlanders. They haven't been able to really settle into their type of game right now.
Right, the fact that this hasn't been up and down. If Providence was getting all of these opportunities offensively, but NJIT, one of the top scoring teams in the country, were getting their share of opportunities back at the other end, you're right. I think that this would be a different kind of posture for NJIT, but it is starting to settle into more of a frustrating kind of night.
As the Friars earn their second corner kick in about 2 minutes. That one off the head of Jose Adames. It's Craig Stewart making some notes there, perhaps to tell his men at halftime. And the Friars have outshot the Highlanders 6-1 thus far. 4 shots on goal. Have hit the post and the crossbar on separate occasions. Here's the kick from Serrano. Wolf on the back end, heads it down, but right into the midsection of Sam Rigas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many notes you could possibly be making. The one note I'm thinking is put it in the back of the net more. It's not you're not looking for more opportunities. There are so few times in soccer where you can say we should be up. It's another look at that opportunity. But Providence College has every right to say we should be up 3-0. And you mentioned the crossbar, the post, a spectacular save by Rigas, just other opportunities along the way. I mean, PC has buried their first good opportunity, and it's been an avalanche of opportunities ever since.
Yeah, but with a 1-goal lead, things could change oh so quickly, and Highlanders certainly know that as they try to work through the midfield. And, you know, one thing their coach talked to me about was just they wanted to have possession. They wanted to keep the ball away from the Friars, but so far I'd say it's probably a maybe 70-30 split, at least in terms of possession time out there.
Yeah, it's really the opposite of what he's looking to do here in this first half.
Serrano now wanted to target Wolf, but will retreat back for Mendonça. And now he'll slip it across for Duncan, who again, nobody within about 30 yards of him on that far right back spot. See 9 field players already back for the Highlanders. Only one up top is Rennie White, their true danger man up there. And here's an opportunity now. NJIT with numbers if they hustle. Making his way up is Radon. Radon looking to unload. Plays it across Avisa. Had to sprawl out to grab that one, and Rennie White right in the vicinity. If that one's bobbled even a little bit, White's right on the doorstep to knot things up.
Yeah, there's no margin for error there, and Avisa played it perfectly.
That's the one thing the Friars need to be wary of. These counterattacks. NJIT's got a lot of speed, especially in their front 6. Can't get caught upfield with too many players if you're the Friars. As they work it up now through Roman. Roman met by 2 Highlanders. Will leave it back. And now it comes across for Vang. And another foul, and now we're going to see yellow justice served. It's going to go to Thomas Radon. And, you know, that's the second or third time he's been called for a foul of that sort. And the referee, I think, basically gave him the mild warning before and said, look, if we see you again, you're going to have to go in the book.
Yeah, it's just cumulative, I think. I don't think that one was any more egregious than the others. Perhaps because the contact came after Vang had already released the ball, that might have made it more egregious.
Across, Smith the header, and oh, what a save that time by Rigas. As again, the Friars knocking on the doorstep. Smith at 6'7", easily taller than any of the defenders the Highlanders can put out there, and nearly was able to collect what would have been his 6th goal of the season.
Boy, just out of nowhere, a ball to Wolf, settles it down, 2 touches, and then this. Whoa.
Yeah, Davis Smith got the Friars on the board 21 seconds into the season in the season opener against UMass Lowell. Has been a big part of the offense. Short corner kick this time. Roman played it into the 6, but there to meet it was Nino. His clearance, though, right to Vang. Vang now, the shot. And that one's just wide as it kind of froze Rigas that time. A little knuckler off the left foot of Kevin Vang, local product from Cranston, Rhode Island.
And Esben Wolf wasn't too far away on that back post. You mentioned the knuckler. It caught a piece of a Highlander. That's why it had such a strange trajectory, and that's why it froze Rigas on his line.
So under 10 to play now in the first half. Gil Santos. In-swinger into the box, and that one's cleared out. Rennie White now trying to play with some pace through the middle. And a nice job by Griffin to slow him down, and now Serrano is able to lay it back for Duncan. The Friars will go back to their possession game, having a long boot up the field. Davis Smith trying to settle. Gets towards the 18 and nearly played with an arm that time. As coming across was Malink. And wow, we've got some. Fernando Barbado is going nuts with the 4th official.
He really has been for several minutes ever since that yellow card was assessed.
Friars, though, continue to attack. Danny Griffin now will take his space. Tracking him will be Rebel. Back for Serrano. Ahead it comes for Santos. Santos switches the point of attack. Looking for Roman, but a nice win in the air, and then a takedown. Maybe inadvertent, maybe not, but play on, says the official. As getting up there was Ryan Malink. And now the Highlanders are able to lay it wide. Radon. The big blast, but up and above everything. Not too close on that one. And just the second shot of the game for NJIT. As again, Coach Barbodo, very frustrated. The Friars are going to make a change now, bringing in Matt DePero, the redshirt junior, would have been a senior if it weren't for injury, from Baldwinsville, New York.
Davis Smith checks out. We saw Smith have a couple of opportunities in the box so far tonight. Give him a breather to end this first half. I'm sure we'll see him out there to begin the second.
Big win in the air that time by the Highlanders. Malink, and then sent out of play by Duncan. We've got just over 7 minutes left here in the first half. Good pressure by Mendonça to win it for Santos. Santos playing it through DePero, who just checked in. And a nice move by Joao Costa to knock it out of harm's way, but plays it right to Mendonça. A tough turnover there for the Highlanders again. Santos now putting some pressure. DePero as well as Rigas sends a pop fly towards the middle of the field. Settled by Nino. And knocked out of play by Roman. And we're going to have another change now, and watch out for this change. Rexon Watkins, just an absolute spark plug off the bench. He has been tremendous as a reserve for the Highlanders. He checks in to replace White.
He needs very little time at all to get work done. How about in his last 4 games? He's played 80 minutes, so he hasn't even played a game's worth of minutes. And in 80 minutes, 4 goals and assist, 9 points. That's more than a season's worth for some people.
And he had the game winner in the ASUN championship game. Was the ASUN tournament MVP as a reserve. I mean, that's almost unheard of, but that's the kind of impact Rex Watkins can have, the junior out of Cape Town, South Africa. So keep an eye on the number 15 for NJIT. Friars, though, will maintain possession here once again. Gil Santos waiting for reinforcements, gets it in the form of Danny Griffin. Will then leave it back for Serrano.
Well, and that's for NJIT to have Watkins come in like this. It's a little later in the first half, and that Rennie White only plays 70 minutes a contest, one of the nation's leading scorers. So he's on the bench for about 20 minutes a night. And when you're able to keep your top scorer extra fresh, and you've got this guy coming off to relieve him, it's just a lethal combination.
They work it up ahead, though, into the box, but cleared away by Duncan. Looking for Gil Santos. Adames, though, able to juggle out of trouble. And now we'll leave it on the near side for Costa.
I mean, basically, when you look at Watkins and you look at White, they combine to average just 90 minutes a night. So there's your scoring punch. And the two of them have combined for 23 goals this year.
Yeah, you almost wonder what they could do if they were both out there at the same time. And who knows, as this one goes on, maybe we'll see just that, as it'll be a goal kick upcoming for the Friars with under 5 to play in the first half. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino. Glad you could join us here on the Big East Digital Network. The Friars getting on the board in the 10th minute, thanks to a brilliant side volley from Trevor DeVoke, the redshirt senior from Massachusetts. Friars trying to get dangerous again here in the final 5 minutes. Danny Griffin able to split through 2 defenders. Now leaves it off for Wolf, but easily able to get there first was Costa. It fires it out of bounds. And Wolf heading over there first. They do have Gil Santos, who has a very good long throw, but he's not going to take it this time. Santos will fire the shot, takes a deflection. Another deflection out to Vang. Couldn't get a clean shot. Back across. Vang again now the opportunity. Fires it in, and what a save by Rigas. Vang, though, taken out. And again, Rigas coming up huge for the Highlanders. He has been fantastic.
What a spectacular, creative play here. So Vang is going to get this initial shot blocked. And watch as he receives this ball back. The entire defense thinks he's going one way, and to create that gap for yourself in such close quarters, that is incredible, and certainly credit to Rigas on the save.
4th corner of the night now upcoming for the Friars, but they'll make a couple of changes first. As Vang and Wolf check out. Here it comes. Skying up that time was Kawasmi, who has been able to knock in a couple with his head this season, but that time it glances out of play. So having checked in just a few moments ago, Gage Raftery, the freshman from Seattle, and also Tristan Stoll. Stoll, the redshirt junior from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. As Coach Stewart able to go a little bit deeper on the bench here in the first half, is DePero now making a chase for it. And a little bit of contact there with Ferreira. Ferreira sold it well. There was certainly contact, but NJIT wanting a card. Coach Sparboto not happy, again, with the officiating so far, as he appeals to the 4th official.
So Ferrero, I thought it was a shove up top, and he's really grabbing that left ankle.
Well, he's gone down a couple of times, too. He's been involved with some big collisions earlier.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the contact was up high, that it was low, apparently.
We'll take another look at exactly what happened. DePero coming in, and yeah, he kind of stepped on the back of his foot there. Again, no malintent. He wasn't trying to foul him. It was just a slight hesitation, and DePero did step kind of on the back of his heel. So again, things heating up here, despite the frigid temperatures out there on the pitch.
Yeah, I would say that halftime's going to do well to calm some things down on both sidelines, especially for NJIT, get themselves regrouped. I think if you're NJIT, you go into halftime. If it's 1-0, you're pleased with that result, that you're just one goal away from tying this thing up.
Friars able to get it out wide once again for Duncan. Santos not too careful with it in the middle, had it stolen away. It comes up now through Radon. Radon trying to put it on net, and that one not missing by much, but seemed to be tailing wide the whole time. Seemed to be well covered by Avisa. But again, you can't sleep on this Highlander team. Again, they're the 6th highest scoring offense in the country coming in. And again, that one's some funky English on it.
Yeah, it was a ball that I think Radon wanted to start outside the post and bring it back in, and it just kept sliding further and further wide. It started outside the post, and it just never did have that English. You never did get around on it.
Avisa now will play it up ahead with just over a minute left in the first half. Kawasmi, and able to keep it in for the moment with Stoll. However, NJIT quickly the other way now with Cubero. Mendonça tracking back, as is Stoll. And now Stoll working through the middle of the field. As Cubero stays down on the far side. DePero lifts it up ahead, but no one making the run that time. It'll easily fall to the foot of Rigas. Takes a quick peek at the scoreboard, sees 40 seconds left. And perhaps NJIT just looking to get into the break. Now the quick rollout for Adames. And he'll left foot it up. Chested down by Mendonça, and then getting a touch to it was Roman. But able to sneak in as Radon. Down to 20 seconds. Nino. Put it back towards the middle. Now trying to switch the point of attack. Stoll there for the Friars, has Santos. Santos with 6 seconds. Will take the ambitious shot from midfield, and that's how the half will end. The Friars with a 1-0 lead thanks to Trevor DeVoke back in the 10th minute. And again, Coach Bobardo still upset, giving an earful to the 4th official.
Well, you know, early on, PC got that goal, and NJIT just generally frustrated, but again, 1-0, Providence College on top. With all the opportunities, it's got to be a little disappointing for the Friars, and it should be somewhat encouraging for NJIT to only be down a goal at half.
So time for us to step aside. We'll be back with more from Chappie Field as you're watching the first round of the NCAA tournament on the Big East Digital Network.
When my time came to stop coaching, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to go cold turkey. I was able to start the Big East Conference, and we came across the sky like a meteor.
One recruiting year that they had that really turned everything around was the Ewan-Mullen Pinckney recruiting year. It changed the face of Eastern basketball probably forever.
We just believed in ourselves and a lot of hard work on everybody's part.
Every March, Madison Square Garden is home to everything that is college basketball.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
What? How's the weather? Yeah. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard, but we ain't gonna stop.
Rightly, there were questions early on about whether the Big East could withstand the test of reconfiguration, and I think if you were here, we've done that and more.
It's a monster league now. Last man standing, bring the flag. Tough to coach in, but great for spectators and great to play in. The march of the Big East goes on.
And welcome back once again to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence. We are at the half, and the Friars leading NJIT 1-0 on a 10th-minute goal from Trevor DeVoe. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino here on the Big East Digital Network. And Adam, time to take a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
And it was a Providence College heavy first half, and it was a miscue that nearly gave the Friars an early lead. That ball just stayed out along the goal line. Meanwhile, Providence College continued to attack, and just a few moments later, they had this opportunity in the box that just got sent over the top on a great effort by Davis Smith. And now, here's the goal. Here's the one that gave Providence College the lead, this little chip, and Trevor DeVoe with a spectacular finish. So that's the goal for Providence College. They had a number of other opportunities the rest of the half to continue to build on this lead. Another chance for DeVoe as he carried in a great save made there for NJIT's goalie Samuel Rigas. And now for NJIT, the opportunities were few and far between. They did have a couple of opportunities, a couple of looks in on net. That one was handled relatively easily by Austin Aviza. And then this, so from a little bit further out, Thomas Rydon just up and a little wide of net. So 1-0 our score, although it could be a whole lot more than that for Providence.
Yeah, we take a look now at the stats through the first 45 minutes. And again, a dominating performance by the Friars as they outshot NJIT 12-3, 7-0 in terms of shots on goal. And remember, this Highlander team is 6th in the nation in goals per game. So for them to not even have a single shot on goal tells you about the kind of defense that Providence was playing. And even though it took them a while to get to their first corner, they wound up finishing with 4 corners for the first half. And the fouls, I mean, there's only 8 total, but it started to get a little bit chippy for about the final 10 minutes of that first half. And, of course, we did see a card issued to Thomas Rydon of the Highlanders.
And, you know, for Providence College, just finishing up the thought on shots on goal, you saw the 7 shots on goal. That exceeds their season average. Providence College is 12th in the country at almost 7 shots on goal per game. That's what they did in the first half.
So a dominating performance by the Friars. Can they continue it in the second half? We'll find out as we'll be back with more from Friartown. You're watching the NCAA tournament on the Big East Digital Network.
One of the positives about the sports business in the last couple of years, and in recent years in particular, has been the growing interest in seeing our industry become a more diverse and inclusive place.
I find it important for us to amplify the voices of those who have not traditionally had a seat at the table. As a Black African woman, my various social identities are always at the forefront of my daily interactions, from my first name, my culture, to where I'm from. So for me, diversity is about us celebrating our uniqueness as a society. A lot of what happens in terms of diversifying workforce in the college world happens at the campus level. That's really where the core hiring takes place. The schools are responsible for hiring their directors of athletics, their staffs, their coaches. And so the conference is really a step away from that activity, but I think conferences can and should set a tone. And so in the Big East, we have tried to make diversity and inclusion a conference strategic priority. We have, for example, within our conference SAC group, designated a diversity and inclusion officer. D&I has become an important topic of discussion at SAC meetings. And our D&I officer is now included into the conference-wide diversity and inclusion working group that we've created. I currently serve as the conference's Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This position is charged with ensuring that the conference carries out its commitment to inclusion for all. And I assist the conference staff in creating opportunities for student athletes from different backgrounds to come together to share and exchange ideas. I also work closely with the Big East Diversity and Inclusion Working Group. You know, when I think about diversity, I think about the fact that diversity is a fact. When we think about inclusion, we think about inclusion being a choice. And I think if we can succeed in anything at the Big East is to impress upon everyone how inclusion isn't just a choice but a responsibility. The Big East is committed to continuing the development of programs and initiatives that support diverse and inclusive environments for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and communities.
And welcome back once again to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence. It's a chilly night here in the Ocean State, with the Friars leading this one 1-0 after the first half. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino. And Adam, of course, you know, just the first round of the NCAA tournament, but Friars would know who they would play, so would NJIT, should they win this game.
Penn State, the number 15 team in the country, according to the seeding, they're 12-3-3 this season, and then the number 2 team coming out of the ACC. The ACC got a ton of respect by the selection committee. 10 different teams selected out of the ACC. Clemson went 16-2-1. Virginia went 17-1-1. They're the number 1 team in the country. So the ACC incredibly strong this year, and that's the path that this pod of teams are coming through.
Of course, some hardy fans making their way up from NJIT. You know, they had some fan buses coming up 95 for this one, and they're hoping they could see their Highlanders put one past the Friars here early on in the second half to knot things up. For the second half, the Friars still in those home whites, gray striping and black numerals. They'll be advancing from left to right across your screen. The Highlanders in those road reds, a little bit of blue trim out there, and of course the white numerals, as Coach Fernando Barboto had exchanged some words with the fourth official at the tail end of the half. And there's Craig Stewart leading his men back to the NCAA tournament for the 6th time. And you got to believe he's happy with what he saw, but still, probably a couple areas where he'd like them to tighten up just a little bit.
You know, it's few and far between, and I think every coach would love to tell his team, put the ball in the back of the net. That was the one thing, to my eyes, that was really missing for Providence College. They did 99% of it. It was just that last percent of getting the ball past and in the back of the net.
So here we go. We're underway in the second half. Friars work it into the middle of the field for Kevin Vang, as it looks like the Friars have returned to their starting 11. And it looks like NJIT is with most of their starting 11. Of course, Ario Rusnik went out with injury about 5 minutes into the first half of play. He was replaced by Jose Adames, and Adames remains out there at one of those back positions for the Highlanders. Friars will swing it out to the far side. Serrano, and now Vang once again. Vang kind of occupying that space that we usually see Paulo Lima. Lima has not been on the field yet for the Friars. As they work it outside once again, DeVoke had the first goal of the game, nearly had a second if it were not for a fantastic save from Samuel Rigas a couple moments after he had scored. And dangerous ball in the back line, but Adames able to hammer it out towards Rennie White. Kawasmi there, though. They'll steal it once again, as the Friars really haven't let White have that much space to play with it at all tonight.
No, I wonder if this was the most frustrating 45. He only played about 40 minutes or so. I wonder if it's the most frustrating 40 minutes that he's had, that NJIT's had this year. They didn't get a single shot on goal.
Yeah, extremely rare to see them not get a shot on goal. As they work it up now towards the middle of the box. Griffin giving chase to Rebel. As they lay it off wide into the mixer, it comes off of White. And then Serrano able to get it away and out of harm's way. DeVoke now with David Smith making the run. DeVoke gets around one, but couldn't quite get around Adames, or he would have been off to the races.
He needed to get around him himself because Davis was offside.
Cubero stood up that time by Serrano, and Espen Wolf there to knock it away, but right to the foot of Ferreira. And for really the first time tonight, a little bit of sustained pressure here out of the Highlanders as they try to get to their possession-based attack. Espen Wolf biting on the fake that time as it comes across, but out of play as it was curled out of bounds by Alejandro Rebel. Rebel had spent some time with the Puerto Rican national team. This year's Rookie of the Year in the Atlantic Sun Conference.
Started each of the last 12 games since their game back in late September at Stetson.
Certainly another one of those talented players that Coach Barbota's been able to bring in. And to see them all gelling this season made him very pleased. Coming over the back that time was Malink, saying, well, how else am I going to get it from David Smith, who's about a foot taller? Or at least it seems that way. Malink at 5'11", Smith at 6'7", and Barboto kind of wondering the same thing as he continues to play charades there with the fourth official, giving his demonstration of how he interpreted that last play. So we'll take another look at the play in question. And, yeah, just kind of coming over a little bit too hard and heavy. Not much there, though, in all fairness. Friars put it up, looking for Smith again, and it's going to be knocked off of his head and out of play. Throw-in upcoming now for the Highlanders. They'll be taken by Malink. Malink tosses it up ahead, but Mendonça there for Providence. Drops it back for Serrano. Now a little bit more pressure up top as Cubero trying to put some of the Friars under, and maybe they're going to make things a little bit more difficult for the Friars back line. The Friars, of course, the most dangerous when they're able to build up those attacks through the back line. Here's DeVoke. And not sure what DeVoke was going for there. Got kind of caught up between a shot and a pass and wound up knocking off Davis Smith. Just a little miscommunication, I think, that time between the two attackers.
Yeah, at a certain point, Providence has been so good, so efficient that every time they get the ball inside of 25 yards out, you expect this high-quality scoring opportunity that tonight, when it doesn't work, when something like that happens, you think, oh, well, it went catastrophically wrong just because of how great they've been.
That one in the air by Espen Wolf, but knocked out of play. As Mendonça able to wrestle it away from Rebel and earn the throw in for the Friars. Quick toss and 2 balls on the field at the same time, so they will bring it back and do it again from near midfield. Kind of tough, that solid concrete wall there. That ball ricochets off, and Friars trying to get that quick restart. DeVoke able to win it in the air. Smith now will settle it, looking for DeVoke. And stepping up was Adames. Into the box it comes. DeVoke got behind Adames, who was able to slide it away. Nearly disaster there for the Highlanders.
Such a nice recovery by freshman from Spain, doing a great job of preventing what could have been a great opportunity, another goal-scoring opportunity for tonight's goal scorer, DeVoke.
Griffin a little two-handsy grabby that time, picked up the foul. As the Highlanders trying to build from their back line. On that far side is Ferreira. Mendonça there to disrupt. Tricky pass, not going to find its way past the Friar defense. And now Griffin takes his space. Right through the middle of the field, has DeVoke wide, he'll use him. DeVoke now into the box, plays it across. Knocked away by Costa. And it's going to result in a corner kick for the Friars, just on the proper side of that corner kick flag. So DeVoke will slide on over to take this one, and the Friars, who again have scored 8 of their 35 goals this season off of corner kicks. It actually looks like Griffin's going to come over to take this one now. Of course, Davis Smith at 6'7", one of the primary targets, but the Friars with plenty of players that could knock this one home. Griffin from the far corner. All 11 players in or around the box for NJIT. Here comes the kick from Griffin. Espen Wolf couldn't quite get there. And it's going to trickle on out and then be knocked out of play as Cubero just wanted to be safe with it, taking no chances. Duncan now. Will reverse course back to the near side for Roman. Up ahead for Mendonça. Mendonça, one of the top midfielders in the Big East for the last 2 seasons. Loses the handle of that team. Was able to get back, but Malink able to shut down Mendonça on that opportunity. In it comes. Malink working with Radon, but Roman able to get back. Smith trying to get a touch as Adames a little bit shaken up after that collision with the big man, and now Smith tossed down, but Roman still with possession. Roman continuing to go. Here's Vang now. They have Wolf on the outside. Vang inside. DeVoke. The shot. The score! Trevor DeVoke. And it's going to be waved off for offsides as the defense just pulling up in time. DeVoke nearly with his second of the game as the Friars denied on the offsides call. But on the attack they go once again. Espen Wolf trying to get to the corner. Chased by Ferreira. Ferreira, the only option, knock it out of bounds. And DeVoke now will have a chance to utilize his long throw.
Well, that was a great opportunity for Providence College. It seemed as if the flag, it didn't come up late, but it just took the head official a little bit longer to acknowledge it. And the entire NJIT team turned around and was pleading for that.
Long toss into the box. Smith off his head, and they're going to get Smith for a foul, as they're going to say he had his hands on the defender that time. So we'll take another look now at the goal that was not by DeVoke.
Yeah, so here's a look at offside. So when this ball is being released, yep. And
yeah,
it's going to be with
close with Adames. That he was almost able to keep him on. So close, but here's Rennie White now. His first touch of the second half, blasted away by Duncan. One in the air by Nino, as he took a little bit of a tumble on his own accord. Zapata now will control. Works it through Costa. And all the way back for Adames. He'll leave it off for Rigas, the freshman. Puts it on a line to the outside for Zapata. NJIT captain lost the handle as DeVoke causing problems. And now lifted up towards midfield. On to Rennie White's foot, but Kawasmi there, not once but twice. Espen Wolf now looks for Smith. Smith on the run. Can he get to it? A big collision with Malink as both players go down. Back the other way now come the Highlanders. Costa through the middle. Couldn't quite make the connection with Rebel, and the Friars will settle down on the back line. Roman will work towards the middle. And he'll go all the way back for Kawasmi as he's stared down by White. Duncan up ahead for Griffin. And Griffin unable to get around Malink. Play continues. Would have been a foul on Griffin, but the advantage, Highlanders. Looking ahead for White, and Avisa calls off Kawasmi. And we'll settle things inside the 18 for the Friars. Quick rollout here for Duncan. And now the pressure from Radon. Friars able to get through that initial wave. And now work back again for Duncan. Up ahead, Smith beaten to the ball by Malink. But out of play, it'll be a Friar throw. Roman able to go back this time for Duncan. And all the way back once again for Avisa. Shuffled along now for Serrano. And Avisa once again. Is now NJIT starting to move numbers a little bit forward, trying to disrupt the Friar back line. One in the air that time by Malink. Roman, the second ball, able to keep it in. Trying to work into that corner, left it off for Smith. Smith working with Roman. Tried to put it through. Adamas there to get a touch on it. Mendonça, the win in the air for DeVoe. Now Serrano enters the attacking third. Espen Wolf in the corner once again. Sends it into the mixer, looking for Smith. The header and just over the crossbar on another brilliant bid for the Friars.
Great opportunity. There have been a number of quieter chances for Providence College in the second half. I think we saw a crossbar, a post hit, a couple of spectacular saves by Rigas, and this more of a shoulder glance.
Didn't get it clean.
Davis Smith just missed wide of the frame.
And you'll see a lot of that when the Friars are at their best. They're able to lay it off wide for Wolf, who puts in a lot of dangerous balls into the 18. Smith, one of those primary targets at 6'7", certainly capable of finishing from that range. It's Malcolm Duncan now. Finds some space for Roman. Into the middle they go through Mendonça. He'll switch it all the way across. Brilliant ball over the defender for Wolf on the run. Ferreira now out to challenge. Serrano steps up. Mendonça has to be quick with it, and he is. Vang now takes his space, headed down by Adamas. Vang, though, couldn't spin out of trouble that time as Zapata wins that battle. Off of Serrano, settled now by Mendonça. Mendonça! Trickery with the footwork, but unable to get all the way around Nino. Nino up ahead, nobody home, is calling for it was Radon. And that one will trickle out of bounds for a Friar throw deep in Providence territory.
For NJIT, continue to look at some of the numbers and the shots. Here in this second half, it's one shot for Providence College, no shot for NJIT, so still no shots on goal. And here we are 60 minutes in.
Broken up that time by Griffin. Sent back in by Malink. Off the back of Wolf's head as he's able to find it and knock it up ahead. It's unable to connect with anybody in a white jersey as it comes all the way out wide now for Ryan Malink, the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Takes space in the middle. Broken up by Griffin, and then Mendonça, the diving header, to knock it away. White the opportunity for a moment, couldn't settle. And Mendonça able to get back. Griffin hauled down again, and we've seen that a couple of times where he's just been pulled down as Davis Smith now trying to get past the defender, Costa. And Costa, excellent work getting back and shielding it away. Looked to be out of bounds on the near side, indeed it was. A good counterattack by the Friars, but Joao Costa, fantastic defensive play.
That couldn't have been any better for Costa. That was really, really impressive for a guy that's giving up almost a foot in height to Danny Smith or Davis Smith. And you think about for Davis Smith, what that means for his stride length, and Costa was still able to chop up that ground and beat him to it.
Yeah, just great defensive positioning out of Costa. As the Friars again build from the back. Duncan looks ahead for DeVoe. Down into the corner, he sends it, trying to get Roman on the run. And again, great shielding work that time out of Ryan Malink. Might have actually got a foul on Roman too. Certainly some contact. As Malink went down.
Yeah, I don't know if he got stepped on. That's a possibility.
No,
they got tangled up.
Yeah, I think he just kind of clipped the leg a little bit. Again, so tough. Roman, trying to fight for that ball.
Yeah.
Kind of got kicked there as he was trying to make a play on it. There was almost a contact afterwards as well. And Malink.
Yeah, that
We'll
was
get
certainly
back up. Senior will take a lot more to knock him out of the game. Obviously, NJIT down and back already as Rusnick went out about 5 minutes in. As Roman gets a little talking to by the official on the way back up.
Yeah, that was certainly more than just a clip. That was a pretty good, hefty hack.
And a warning now to Barbodo is, I think the official basically said, that's enough. One more word out of you, sir, and you might wind up in my little book as well. Only one card issued so far. It was the Thomas Radon. That was back in the first half after he had simply too many fouls, kind of accumulation of infractions. Speaking of Radon, here he is now, switching it across. Nicely for Ferreira. Ferreira able to get through Wolf. And Ferreira still able to hold. That time his pass read by Wolf, and now numbers for the Friars if they hurry with Ferreira all the way up. DeVoe leaves it for Wolf. Wolf gets inside the box, plays it across, and just misses the far post. Espen Wolf, the freshman, nearly able to put the Friars up 2-0.
Another big scoring opportunity here on the left flank. And as Wolf charges into the box, he picks up his spot. He looks up, that one glance, and
missed by about 6 inches there. And again, you could see NJIT a little bit in trouble there. Once Ferreira got caught upfield, no one was able to get back. And Wolf's kind of owned that spot on the left flank all night long. As Rigas puts it up ahead, Mendonça. First ball, and then the second ball to Vang. Lifts it towards the 18. DeVoe trying to get there first. Adames, nice play to knock it away. Ferreira now. Will hang in the corner for a moment. As coming back to help him was Rebel. And it's going to go out of bounds off of the Highlanders. And again, this is DeVoe territory where he can really get it into the middle portion of the 18. The Friars the luxury of two long throwers, DeVoe and then Santos when he comes in. Not a lot of run-up space there either. Tight quarters on that far sideline. Here's the toss from DeVoe towards the 6. Bounces once off the face, it looked like, of Costa, and then sent out by the Highlanders. So another corner kick now for the Friars. It'll be their 6th of the night.
Deep opportunities for Providence College. It took them forever to get a corner kick, and now those are starting to pile up. Number 6 coming up.
Yeah, again, one of the national leaders in corner kicks per game. Just about 7 per contest. It's some 12th in the country.
And it's not always a great thing for a team to have a lot of corner kicks, but when you've got a guy 6'7" patrolling the middle of the box.
Short corner this time for Serrano. Lifts it up with the left foot. And that one glances off the head of one of the Highlanders. I believe getting to it was Cubero. The target, that corner of the 18. DeVoe will leave it wide for Roman. Roman got the defender to bite for a moment and nearly earned another corner. Sends it across and headed out of play by Ferreira, as waiting behind him once again was Espen Wolf.
Friars just pinning down NJIT in their defensive end of the field.
The Friars have had the Highlanders locked in now for a couple of minutes. We'll get another far side corner from Griffin. Is able to get some bending in swinger action with his right foot. Here comes the kick. Just over Kawasmi and headed away again by Cubero. Played back in by Roman. Off the back of Vang. Wolf for Mendonça, who tried for the volley, but was kind of leaning back and sliced it out of play.
So NJIT will now try to get any sort of pressure. We saw the first 2 minutes of this second half feel like it belonged to the Highlanders. They just haven't done much since.
Yeah, the moments of possession have been few and far between for the Highlanders tonight. That is one of their keys for the game, was just kind of maintain possession and kind of get the Friars off of their game. Is a dangerous opportunity there for a moment, but unable to catch up with it was Gerald Cubero. DeVoke now sends it up ahead, only to have it sent right back the other way. Battle in the midfield won by Adames, but then sent back by Vang. DeVoke trying to track it down. Has Roman making the run. Switches it for Vang. DeVoke now. Top of the 18 for Griffin. Griffin leaves it wide for Wolf. Wolf plays it across and in! Espen Wolf makes it 2-0 off the inside of the post. And the freshman from Denmark has the Friars up by 2.
Providence College has been knocking on the door all night, maybe a little more in the first half than here in the second, but just a beautifully slid ball by Wolf. That would have been one of the lower percentage scoring opportunities of the night for Providence, and that's the one that makes it a 2-goal lead.
So 65th minute goal for Espen Wolf, the freshman. 4th goal of the season. And the Friars continuing to roll along here tonight at home. Out shooting the Highlanders now 15-3, 8-0 in terms of shots on goal. And the field has been severely tilted in favor of the Friars here this evening. Gut check time here for the Highlanders. They certainly have tons of offensive punch. They're not out of this one yet. Anytime you've got players like Rennie White out there, always a threat every moment they're on the field. But now they're up against it time-wise as well with just 25 minutes left.
And the fact that you're on the road, the fact that this is do or die time, and also that you've been outshot 15-3 and 8-0 in terms of shots on goal, it doesn't feel promising, at least for NJIT, as Rennie White goes down.
Yeah, tough foul there, Mendonça. Got White pretty good, but the referee all over it. Quick restart here. Adames over for Zapata. They'll slide it wide for Costa. So Highlanders got to get numbers forward here. Nino. Back once again for Costa. And now some pressure from Davis Smith. To the near side it comes. Malink challenging Roman that time, and Vang now able to play it back for Kawasmi. Kawasmi has it deflect off Malink. A dangerous chance that time. And you figure it might take some sort of play like that, some kind of mistake in the back line to get NJIT back in this one. Is Roman able to cut past a couple of Highlanders. Ferreira, though, able to win it back. And then off the foot, however, of Radon. Roman now will survey the scene. Up ahead it goes for Smith. Smith trying to work up top. And again, off a Highlander foot. That time, Rebel able to get to it, but unable to control. Setting up another throw-in for the Friars. Roman pushes it ahead, looking for DeVoke. DeVoke slides it across, but that one deflected away by the Highlanders once again. Another throw-in upcoming, and this time we'll see the long toss out of DeVoke. And in that part of the field actually has a little bit more space to build up his run to take this throw. Unlike that far side where you literally only have about 3 or 4 yards, DeVoke can actually take a big run. The toss into the 18, looking for Smith, heads it back. Mendonça got a touch for Griffin, and it hit Griffin's hand. And you got to wonder if Mendonça didn't touch it, could Griffin have struck it cleanly? We'll never know. But the obvious handball that time on Danny Griffin.
Having that long throw, just such a huge advantage. I would almost argue most teams would prefer that you have that kind of a throw rather than a corner kick. You can just about place it exactly where you want compared to a corner where you're just sort of guessing to the area.
Ferreira and the Highlanders now back the other way. A tough ball, but handled that time by Nino. Nino, first teamer, all Atlantic Sun this year. As they work it to the middle. And a shot on goal, first of the night, forces Avisa to to make a tremendous save for the Friars.
How hard is that after 68 quiet minutes? All of a sudden, you need to come up with this kind of save on a knuckler. You could see that slight hesitation step where he thinks, I think it's going to my right, and then he actually's got to go get it.
Yeah, good action on that shot by Thomas Radon, the junior from Sparta, New Jersey. Packed inside the 6. Boy, NJIT getting a lot of guys in that area as Avisa is sandwiched by a couple of guys. You wait the corner. Into the mixer it comes, headed to the far post, and bicycle attempt, nearly a dangerous play by Cubero. And the Friars try to get out of harm's way through Danny Griffin. Duncan lifts it up and into the Providence bench. The Highlanders playing with some urgency here, facing a 2-0 deficit. Chipped up ahead, and then knocked away by Mendonça. Smith holding for a moment, but getting back was Ferreira. Ferreira now playing on the left side as he basically switched with Malink. Coach Barboto trying to mix things up, finding maybe just a different combination that could put the Friars under some duress. Adames up ahead, has his man Radon, quickly met by Mendonça. We've got just over 20 minutes left here in the second half. Glad you could join us. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Giardino here on the Big East Digital Network for this first round game of the NCAA tournament, the first in school history for the Highlanders at the D1 level. Of course, the 10th appearance for the Friars, but their first since 2016. Both teams looking for a date with Penn State later this week as Mendonça chops down Nino for another run-of-the-mill foul. And they're going to move the Highlanders back a little bit. A little bit closer to midfield. Adames quickly back now, this time for Zapata. To the far side it goes, Joao Costa will take his space, now looks to the middle of the field, has Rebel. Slides it wide for Cubero. Cubero dances past Mendonça, now trying to get around Wolf. And will drop it back for Malink. Towards the 18 it goes. Kawasmi there to clean it up for the Friars. Devoke beaten to it that time by Costa. And Cubero now trying to get dangerous inside the 18. Cubero plays it across. Griffin there for the Friars. And Wolf hammers it out towards the middle of the field. Costa, though, steps into the play. Lets the left-footed shot go, but well wide of the net of Avisa.
Pair of substitutions checking in for Providence College. Gil Santos in, Matt DePero in. A couple players coming off, Davis Smith, as well as Christopher Roman.
I think it's actually going to be DeVoke. Roman coming over for some last-second instructions. It looked like he was coming out. I was going to say, I'm surprised they're taking out Roman. And then DeVoke completes the walk over to the bench. So Roman will stay out there at that right flank position.
Yeah, he's a midfielder, but he rarely leaves the pitch at 86 minutes of contest.
And now the kick from Avisa. Haven't had too many goal kicks either. Again, the shots have been hard to come by for NJIT. Just 6 total shots, 1 shot on goal. As Griffin plays it up ahead. Santos, he does have some game-breaking speed, and he has the moves to match. Plays it across the net of Rigas. Nobody there, but Wolf able to track it down. Wolf now, a left-foot cross for Santos, and that takes a spin off of Adames. And Wolf trying to settle once again. Gets past Cubero. Trying to get around Zapata. And he's going to be hauled down. That should be a foul.
Yeah, that
it will be. He caught Espen Wolf up high as he tried to just reach out and grab him. Wolf a little bit shaken up. Not the big freshman from Denmark. Looks to be okay. We'll take another look. Santos trying to get around Adames. And again, just in front of DePero. Couldn't quite track it down, and Wolf able to get to it. So basically the equivalent of a short corner. Santos plays it up and off the defender and cleared out to the middle of the field. Vang there for Providence. Mendonça, who had the goal against Georgetown, leaves it off for Roman, plays it across, and the header from DePero goes wide. No deflection off a Highlander defenders. Again, the Friars looking dangerous in the attacking third.
DePero just off the bench, already getting himself active. We saw the replay of the previous chance for DePero that went through the box, and here's another look, and this one goes off of him and just past the far post.
Yeah, Malink, some pretty good defense. Didn't give DePero a super clean opportunity there. But still, could have been finished for what would have been the third Friar goal. Here's DePero settling it for Roman. Roman up ahead, has Danny Griffin. Works against Ferreira. Griffin lays it into the corner, but a zig instead of a zag from Christopher Roman leads to a goal kick for the Highlanders. Well, now they'll make their change, getting their spark plug off the bench. Orexon Watkins, and different look here is Rennie White's going to stay out there. Makes total sense. You want your top goal scorer out there, and Watkins is combined with White this year, 23 goals between the pair, and this is the first time tonight we've seen both of them out there at the same time. So I'm sure the Friars quite aware, but the defense has to make sure they're on the same page. Ball one in the air by Mendonça, and Santos has it deflect off of his foot and out of bounds. Ryan Malink now, and the Highlanders down to just about 16 minutes left here in the second half. Roman, Mendonça, and now Santos. They'll swing it wide for Wolf. And Wolf's fast, but he's not that fast. Not going to catch up with that one. So the rare miss hit by the Friars, and they'll turn it over on the far side. And it comes now for Rebel. Nino and Rebel can't combine as Mendonça there to break it up again. They send it deep for DePero. Adames there has it deflect off DePero, and they're going to say offsides on a very delayed offsides. But again, the referee could have been watching the play and not focusing on that AR at that particular time, knowing that his AR would have his back. But that one was certainly close, Adam.
It was. There also may have been a signal that it just was a handball as well. At least that's what the Highlanders were signaling, that it was off the arm of DePero.
Which would almost make more sense, because it did not look like offsides in real time to begin with. But either way, it was a restart for the Highlanders, as some pressure there from Santos. Santos now trying to gain entry into the box, gets past one. Has DePero, but puts it too far back, as retreating backwards was Andrew Nino.
I think that was one of those where he knew DePero was blanketed, and so as he was running out of time, he just set it to the middle and hoped that somebody would be there running onto some space.
Now NJIT trying to get numbers forward again. Serrano there to break it up. Sends it towards midfield as a little bit of a collision with Malink in the middle as he gets up slowly. Seems to be all right. Costa now. I'll leave it wide. Cubero trying to turn on Griffin. Leaves it off wide for Malink. Malink, who's now back on the left side, tries to put it on net. And that one looked to have taken a deflection off a Providence defender, and indeed it did. So the second corner of the night coming up for the Highlanders. They're going to go short this time with Watkins out there. Now played into the box, headed away by Santos. Wolf trying to get to the second ball. Adames playing it wide with the left foot. And the Friars will be able to settle with a goal kick with about 13 and a half minutes left to play here in Providence. And now the official is giving Austin Avisa the warning of, you got to play it faster or I'm going to start stopping the clock. Avisa plays it up towards the middle of the field. Roman couldn't quite win it with Malink, but it falls onto the foot of Santos. Santos able to turn the corner. Now trying to use his speed. Adames giving chase. Santos cuts it back, looking for the shot, and save made by Rigas. But what a nasty cutback there by Gil Santos. To stop on a dime like that at full speed, so difficult. And that's what he brings to the table off the bench.
And if that shot is anywhere about right at Rigas, he perhaps makes that save, but gives up a rebound, and there were a couple of Friars ready to go after a second chance.
Santos, the fake shot, now tried to play it across and is able to earn another corner kick. So here's another look at that move by Santos. The acceleration, playing with pace, the ball at his feet, and then the cutback. This is just nasty.
Ooh.
Able to get into a prime spot to fire the left-footed shot. And again, like you said, if it's not right at Rigas, could have been trouble for the Highlanders. So it'll be another corner kick here for the Friars, and this will be Joao Serrano territory from this near side. Again, he has an outstanding in-swinger with that left foot. Puts it on a line, headed away though. Is getting to it was Rebel. Danny Griffin able to lay it all the way back for Duncan as Watkins tried to give chase for a moment. Sent deep into the box. Kawasmi, who's still up there, and it forces Rigas to come well out of his 6 to make a play on it. Quick rollout this time as he uses Zapata, and now up ahead for Nino. Hounded by DePero, able to spin away did Nino. Now looks ahead for White. Promptly poked away by Mendonça, who's owned that battle in the midfield today. Mendonça trying to use Griffin in a rare mishit from one of the Friars tri-captains. Will give NJIT a throw on that far side. And under 12 to play now. Friars getting goal from Trevor DeVoke and Espen Wolf in the 10th and 65th minutes respectively here tonight. The long throw is going to be settled, but then broken up by Griffin. Santos kind of surprised to find himself open for the moment. Looks ahead for DePero. What a ball by Santos. DePero into the 18, and Rigas off a nice little shield from Joao Costa. As the Highlanders, the quick restart out of the back now, try to work it through that far side.
It really speaks to how good the back line of NJIT's defense has been, that kind of recovery and just ability to wedge players off the play has kept this game as close as it is. It really can't be stated enough how Providence could have already run away and been long into their mindset of being in the round of 32.
Back the other way now, the Friars with Griffin trying to get to that 18. Cuts it back the other way, looking to load up the left-footed shot, and a good step up that time from Costa. He was wondering where was the defense on the rest of that play. Sent across by Roman, but that one overshoots everybody. Onto the far side. 10 minutes to go here in the second half. A trip to the second round with a date at Penn State on the line here tonight. Tossed in by Zapata. Serrano wins it. Griffin now will settle it for Vang, and all the way back for Duncan. Duncan again with that halo of about 20 yards or so. Mendonça now. DePero tried to play it on for Roman. Across it goes, and just in front of Santos. As that pass about back another foot or two, and the Friars will be looking at 3-0.
Right, because Rigas had committed to the first man streaking through the box, and once it got past that, with Santos all alone, it was a simple tap-in to make it 3-0.
To the near side it comes. Ryan Malink matched up against Roman. Able to get the space. Hits towards the middle. Back now for Nino. Lifts it into the 18. Over the head of White. Wolf there for Providence, but couldn't keep it in play. And that'll give the Highlanders their third corner of the night with just under 9 minutes to play. Hustling over there is Rebel, the ASUN Rookie of the Year. 8 helpers on the season for Rebel. Can he get another one here? Into the 18 it comes, on a line for Watkins. Watkins plays it across, far post, headed down off the post. Second opportunity cleared away by Kawasmi. Watkins giving chase again. And the Highlanders that close to making it a 1-goal game. Their most dangerous play of the night.
Exactly. That was easily their best opportunity. They've had a couple of good opportunities. They forced Avisa to make a spectacular save earlier in this half, but that's 1A to the previous 1B.
Yeah, Friars got to buckle down here for the final 8 minutes. The Highlanders on the prowl. They're going to need 2 in the final 8 minutes here to knot things up. They play it back for Nino. Cross now. Here is Costa. He'll be hounded by Santos all the way back to his side of the field once again. Nino now will try to accelerate away from Santos. No easy feat. And they'll get the foul behind the play. Santos got tangled up with Nino. And it'll be a restart for NJIT. As Nino imploring everybody to get up, as they have to send numbers forward now. Friars trying to hold the top of the 18. They await the kick from Andrew Nino. He'll leave it for Watkins. Side of the box, tries to put it on net. He does so, but right into the midsection of Austin Avisa. The second save for Avisa on the night. This one a little bit more routine than the first one he made. And here's how close the Highlanders were. Off the outside of the post from Costa. Friars now work it through Roman. Roman able to get towards the box. Across, has Santos, spins away from one. In traffic, Santos still working. And now he'll just hold as he's chased all the way out by Nino. Splits through a couple of Highlanders and still gets it to Vang. Now Roman at the top of the box. Couldn't quite handle it. And back the other way comes Malink. Malink with some pace. As Roman hustling back. They want to try to feed White. White getting into the 18, puts it across and deflected it off of Duncan on what was easily White's best chance of the night. As the Friars have basically shut him down.
He was looking to pass, it seemed like, even with that opportunity to the left foot. It wasn't going to be a great look, but he was trying to set something up for a teammate rather than be a little selfish trying to get NJIT on the board late in the second half.
A trio, make it a quartet of subs getting ready to check back in for the Friars for the final 5 minutes and change, the next opportunity. But right now it's Juan Zapata lifting it up ahead, trying to target White. Kawasmi there again. Cubero couldn't quite settle it cleanly, and Espen Wolf there to take it away. Vang and Griffin now work the 1-2 over for Wolf. And Wolf will continue to take his space. Tried to play it through, but breaking it up was Zapata. Griffin now. And Wolf didn't continue the run that time, as handling it is Radon. Griffin able to get back, gets a little hug, and now continues forward. Serrano will calmly swing it back to the near side from Malcolm Duncan. 5 minutes left in the second half. Roman. And now Duncan. Tough hit from Mendonça leads to a turnover, but he gets it back. Oh, what a cutback that time as Rebel couldn't quite get it away. DePero now will set up shop on the near side, all alone. Tries to make his way in towards the 18. DePero sliding it across and broken up by Costa. Lifted forward on the run, but offsides was Watkins as he got in past the defense. Just over 4 minutes left. Friars, of course, will take their time in setting this one up. Kawasmi will be on the restart here for the Friars. Kevin Vang. Leave it now for Ramsey Kawasmi. Pressure from White. Spins it up ahead. Broken up, though, by Malink. In the middle of the field, Rebel turns it back towards the near side for Malink. And now they go centrally again, looking for Cubero. Cubero stolen away by Mendonça. And how many times have I said that tonight? As the redshirt senior has come through with a strong defensive midfield performance. Shot towards the net, and that one's going to blister wide, but deflected on the play as it was sent in by Thomas Radon. And the shots.
Here's a look for
starting to come through.
Yeah, NJIT just not able to get one home, but encouraging.
To the far post it went, and therefore the taking, but knocked over. Thomas Radon's going to wish he had that one back. And now the Friars can get their changes in. That'll stop the clock since we're under 5 minutes to play, but Davis Smith, Trevor DeVoke, Gage Raftery, and Tristan Stoll back in. Looks like DePero, Santos, Vang, and Espen Wolf, who had the second goal of the game, will all check out.
Fans in attendance here today are rightfully cheering on these substitutes. The players coming off have given such great minutes for the Friars here tonight.
Avisa sends it back into play. Just over the head of Davis Smith. Kept alive, though, by Stoll. DeVoke on the run into the 18. And sliding over was Costa. As I was a little surprised Rigas didn't come off his line to play it. But he was able to get Costa to get there first. Malink trying to get around Mendonça. Able to slide it to Watkins. Watkins splits 2D, but can't get around Duncan. However, there to help him out was Nino, and then cleared away by Christopher Roman. Tough first touch that time by Costa as Davis Smith goes down. Played wide now on the run, Tristan Stoll. Down at midfield is Costa still for the Highlanders. Played across, DeVoe looking for his second. Puts it into the side netting, but on the outside of the pipe. 2 minutes left. Sent up ahead by Rigas. Under 2 minutes left. Malink. DeVoe now tries to spin around Adamas. DeVoe gets to the middle of the field, leaves it wide now for Gage Raftery, who has about 25 yards to work with. Plenty of green. Into the middle of the field it goes now. Settled by Griffin and out wide for Serrano. Just about a minute 20 left in this one. Adamas able to get a foot to it. Raftery will hold now for the Friars. Serrano once again for Griffin. A little let for Mendonça as it comes once again for Duncan. Griffin will continue to hold. Missed on the 1-2, but knocked out of play again by the Highlanders. His last touched by Radon, and then in frustration spins it away from Stoll, and that's just going to take some more time off the clock. Stoll works into the corner. And then crashing in to knock it out of bounds was Zapata. It'll be a goal kick here, but just 30 seconds remaining. As Rigas imploring his men to get up the field. Rigas sends it up ahead. Won by Roman. On to the foot of Nino. 17 seconds left. Duncan will have the toss here for the Friars. That'll make it Stoll for the final 10 seconds. Tristan Stoll, one more long toss up ahead, and the Friar faithful celebrate the 2-0 win. They will advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament, where they will take on Penn State later this week. The Friars getting goals from Trevor DeVoe in the 10th minute and Espen Wolf in the 65th to knock off the NJIT Highlanders. Time for us to step aside for just a few moments. We'll be back with more from Providence. You're watching the first round of the NCAA tournament on the Big East Digital Network. And welcome back once again to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium, where the Providence College Friars have knocked off NJIT by a 2-0 score. Time to send it down to Adam Giardino, who's standing by with the 2 goal scorers tonight, Trevor DeVoke and Espen Wolf.
Thank you very much, Mike. We're down here on the field with Trevor DeVoke, one of the goal scorers here today. But above all else, the Providence College Friars are on to the round of 32. How do you feel?
It's great. It's a great win. Just excited to be moving on, and we got a big one on Sunday now.
Take us through that goal, just everything that was developing as you saw that chip shot come to you.
I don't remember much from the build-up, but Chris Roman played a good ball. It went past the first post, and the ball hung up for me real nice, and I just connected good, and it was good from there. Yeah.
The scissor kick, the side strike goal, I mean, how many of those have you dreamt up to be able to give your team a lead in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah. It was big. The huge crowd tonight. Crowd was buzzing, and it was nice to get that first goal, and then gave us some leeway going into that first half, and it was good. It was good.
And I'm going to finish with this with you. And you talk about that 1-0 lead at halftime, but you guys had so many opportunities. What was the mindset of the team at halftime, knowing you could have had a 2-3, maybe a 4-0 lead, instead it was 1-0?
We knew we had to get that next one. That was going to put them away, and so we just kept going. We knew we were going to get more chances, and finally Espen came up and tucked it away at the end, so that was huge for us just to get that cushion, like I said.
All right, thank you very much, and we're going to bring Espen in right now. He mentioned the second goal scorer. You were the one who gave a little bit of cushion down the stretch. I asked him the question about his goal. Take us through the build-up to your goal that gave Providence a 2-0 lead.
The ball gets switched. I see Danny having it. There's a good 2v1 situation. He plays me in. And yeah, I just have to tuck it away, so yeah.
And then, you're all focused on the offensive side of things. The defensive unit didn't give up a shot on goal until the 68th minute. What did it mean for you guys as a team, knowing that NJIT just didn't really have any opportunities?
I think it's the most important thing. Like, if you can keep the opponent from getting anything, really, it's just about getting up there and scoring a couple, and then you're good. So, yeah, no, I was very pleased with the defensive unit today, yeah.
And then the last question, I asked him this at the top. Providence College Friars are on to the round of 32. How do you feel?
I feel great, obviously, yeah.
All right, congratulations on the victory. Mike, back up to you.
And thank you, Adam. That was Adam Giardino with the 2 goal scorers tonight for the Friars, Trevor DeVoke and Espen Wolf. Some of the final stats for tonight: Providence out shooting NJIT 17-11, 9-2 in terms of shots on goal, 7 saves for Sam Rigas, 2 for Austin Aviza. Corner kicks, the Friars out corner kicking them 8-4. Fouls wound up being a little bit heavier on the Providence side, and only 1 yellow card issued. That was to Radon of the Highlanders. So that'll pretty much do it for us here in Providence. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Adam Giardino, and our entire hardworking crew here on the Big East Digital Network. Final score once again, Providence College 2, NJIT 0. They have a big date with Penn State.